Working with Ben Affleck and Gavin O'Connor, I'm a huge fan of The Accountant, so seeing those two match up again, incredible. But working with Gavin, after Warrior, Miracle, and The Accountant, really sort of dream come true scenario for me, a stand-up comedian, getting to be in a drama, which you don't see too often. But you're working with two uber professionals on an incredible movie. I love that they chose the title The Way Back, because I think it says it all. For anybody who's struggling with addiction, there is a path to recovery. So I think the message is there is a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how dark things get. There is a way out. There is a way back.
The thing that was most interesting to me was just that as an acting role, it was really challenging. It's definitely the kind of part I couldn't have played, certainly not when I was starting out, maybe not even 10 years ago. It's the kind of role that, for me as an actor, and there are all kinds of different actors and some of them can do incredible things, that for me, I have to be able to connect to some life experience to bring that to bear in the role. And so the more life experience I've had, the more ups and more downs, particularly from challenges, from pain, from, comes growth. And I've learned more things about myself, and so I thought, I had more to bring to bear performance-wise. And I was interested in doing dramas about real people that, yes, presented challenges and difficulties in realistic ways, but also were inspiring and suggested that, life can get better, because it absolutely can. And, so I saw this mainly as a real acting test for me, and it ended up being something kind of more and became a movie that's actually quite meaningful to me personally as well. I don't know where anyone would be without second chances. I think you judge people by their successes, not by their failures. We can all fail. But it takes a lot to face something that's really difficult and really scary and really hard, whatever that is in your life, and to get past it, experience it, understand it's not going to destroy you, that you can grow from it, learn those lessons, apply that to your life going forward, and continue to get better. And I think the themes of redemption and second chance, and I'm a guy who's needed, I feel like 27,432 chances. But it's one of the most graceful and beautiful things we can do as people, is to kind of embrace our own flaws, the flaws of others, accept that, and try to see people who genuinely want to get better and help them. I think this movie is deeply inspirational because it's not hokey, it's not preachy, it's not like a lecture. I don't want to see that, I don't want to do that. But it is a story about somebody who's gone through pain. Some pain I can understand, some I have no idea. I can't imagine what it would have been like to go through that. But that, it's kind of like Good Will Hunting. How do you re-engage in life after suffering? How do you decide to live according to your values? How do you get past things that are really hard? And that, I think, is really important and valuable and meaningful to me.
Gavin was the reason I got excited for this movie. Gavin was the person that gave me confidence that this movie was going to be, something that I could believe in. I read the script, and I think I had this perception already in my mind about sports films. I was like, oh, it's going to be a cliche sports movie. But then when I got to the callback with Gavin, I was like, oh, this isn't going to be a cliche sports movie. He was open. He was open from the jump and very welcoming and very genuine. So I didn't feel at all that he was going to make this anything cliche, or I trusted it. And working with Ben was constantly generous. And I was quiet a lot shooting in the movie and shooting the movie, but you could just feel he was always there, and he was always answering questions that everyone had, and he was always very generous. And in our one-on-one scenes together, Ben he was always giving. There's coverage, so even if they're getting my side, and he's not even on the camera, he's always completely in it and just always giving every moment. So it's just, I couldn't ask for anything else. Everyone's been there. Everyone's been in that position where they don't even have faith in themselves or have confidence in themselves that they can reach this thing. But so to be able to see someone come from this and to climb that ladder that's painted as this impossible feat, it's it gives someone a little bit of hope. It lights a little bit of a fire in you, that you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. I can take another step and see what happens. I can take another step and see what happens.
Gavin O'Connor, man, he's really easy to work with. I watched some of his movies that he's done, and I kind of got a little intimidated until I worked with him. I'm thinking it's going to be something complicated. He's so easy to work with, plays it simple, great at giving direction. He's a great leader, and I had such an amazing time working with both of them. The greatest experience of my life. Not everybody can relate to hitting a last-minute shot, a game-winning shot. I know I can't. But I know that people can relate to adversity, tribulation, overcoming obstacles in daily lives. We always face something every day. So when you see somebody, overcome and struggle, I don't know, it does something to humans, seeing somebody come from the bottom and work their way up, because we all can relate to it, and it gives us a special feeling inside that makes us feel like we can accomplish anything. The main message I would probably say is that if you have the right support system around you, around people that love you, and you have the mental determination and dedication to do something, you can overcome anything, anything that you want to do. Growing up as a kid, I heard that a lot of people told me you need to fix your ways now, because when you're 30 years old, that you kind of get stuck in your own ways. I think that's nonsense. You know what I mean? I think at any age, at any time, if you have the mental ability, you can overcome anything. And there's a second chance, and no matter what age, it is possible. You can overcome anything.
Gavin O'Connor and Ben Affleck are two lion-hearted men. They have giant souls, and I think you are going to see it in this film. Gavin created an incredibly safe place for Ben and I to do whatever it took to get us to the places that we had to go to show these people's lives. And we're really proud of that. Yeah, we're proud of what we did. Everybody's an underdog in some part of their life. We're all struggling in some way. And when you're presented with the character that you can identify with, you can feel like you have a voice in things that you can't speak of for yourself. It's just universal, because we all feel it. If we could just talk to each other more about our big feelings, we'd all be feeling better about things. Angela and Jack are still in love with each other. You can tell Angela loves him so much, but you cannot love someone into helping themselves. And I just hope people who see this movie and may identify with Jack can feel a sense of worthiness in themselves to take the help of those who love them.
I think it has another layer of redemption to it. Ben's character has undergone some tragedies in his life, and so in addition to all the sports material, there's also a personal story that sort of lays over it all, which I think really makes it just a unique, rich movie. It was interesting when Ben and I read the script. Originally, they had sent it to him to see if he'd also be interested in directing it, and he was like, the first person he thought of was Gavin, and then it turned out Gavin had already read the script and was really passionate about it, so it felt very karmically meant to be. But I think obviously Gavin's done Warrior and Miracle, and obviously he knows the sports world well. They made The Accountant together, which is a very different movie, but they had a great time together, so it all just it really lined up perfectly. It's a real, look at having a second chance in life. It's about redemption. It's about teamwork, and it's about the camaraderie that the way sports bring people together in a way that almost nothing else can.
It was great to work with Ben and Gavin. Gavin's been one of my favorite directors. Warrior is one of my favorite movies, so to have the opportunity to work with him was great already, and then add Ben Affleck into the whole equation just made it that much better. Because everybody has an underdog story in their life. One point or another, it was the trials and tribulations that you have to kind of fight through and overcome. And sports movies are reminiscent of that. That we're all human. We all go through mistakes. We all need help to, come back. And if people lead with love, we can help those who need help most, and they can overcome it. And in return, maybe it can help us.
Ben Affleck, who stars in the movie, is sensational. He's wonderful. I got to see firsthand why he's the actor that he is. I hope to work with him someday as a director because I love his sensibility so much. That's why I want to do this movie. And then Gavin is such a nuanced, formidable director. He's my kind of director. Sensitive, really tuned in to the experience that's happening on set. Doesn't suffer BS. He's great. There's so many reasons to come up feeling bereft of joy because you can create a story why everything is hopeless. But when you watch an underdog movie, it's a reminder if you stay true to yourself and do the work, you could change your whole landscape. I hope that people take away inspiration. I hope people feel the way I felt when I watched it, which was less lonely, in grief, and really hopeful that human connection can save us all.
Ben Affleck was a pleasure to work with. He taught every single one of us, I think, a different thing. And I think every single one of us walked away with something different by the end of the film. For me, I think he taught me to never lose the joy in acting and to never lose the pleasure in the craft, because once you do that, then it becomes a job, right? And you never want to be doing a job, you want to just be having fun. And that's also something Gavin O'Connor said, the director. He said, he tells his wife when he leaves for work every day, all right, I'm going to work, or she says, have fun at work, and he says, I'm not going to work, I'm going to play. And I think that's something that you really got to keep in mind, is that what you're doing for your profession needs to be what you love. And I think he taught all of us that. Everybody wants the underdog to do it. I mean, I think just in life, it's not fun when the person that is supposed to win wins. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess there's exceptions, like LeBron James. You see, he's the greatest basketball player ever. I mean, him and Michael Jordan, and when they win, it's just amazing because they're the greatest. But in general, you want to see that comeback. You want to see that underdog that wasn't supposed to make it, that wasn't supposed to, do anything and prove you wrong. And that's what March Madness is all about. That's why we love when Duke loses to, number 15 Mercer or whatever in the brackets in the first round. And yeah, I just think that's why people get such a joy out of watching underdogs. I think audiences should take away a story of redemption, of hope. I think a lot of people may go into this thinking, oh, this is just, a Hoosiers, Mighty Ducks, your typical sports film. And then halfway through it, they're going to be like, oh, wow, this is some real stuff. This is a really amazing, powerful, moving story of redemption.